October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and with the stay-at-home orders put in place back in March, many domestic violence victims were and still are in danger. Well, the CEO of Crime Stoppers in Houston says this issue plagues many cities, even here in Chicago.
It's the absolute worst combination of facts for a victim of domestic violence, because as we go through this global pandemic that has so many layers and complicated pieces, a lot of us forget that the stay-at-home order, this push to stay home and remain isolated, is literally a death wish for some people.
Worried that not enough people were talking about the dangers lurking behind closed doors across the country, Rania Mankarious made it her mission to bring this issue to light.
These are important conversations to be having, Chicago and across the country, because we're seeing those numbers everywhere. Every major city is seeing an uptick in domestic violence numbers.
Rania says the numbers are hard to ignore. In Chicago local shelters, there was a 15% increase in inquiries after the city began its initial lockdown. In the first 3 weeks of March, there were 419 calls to the shelter. By April, 542, and those numbers only increased.
We know that Chicago Police Department is saying they're getting 500 domestic violence calls a day, and that when you look in general at your crime rates, domestic violence coming into 2020 was not one of your biggest trending numbers, but now it is. It's your leading crime number.
Between stress, financial insecurity, and just being home, the pandemic kicked off a trifecta of problems in households already struggling with heightened emotions.
The thing that an abuser needs most is control. They need control over every aspect of their lives, including the people within their family. And COVID sort of removed control from everybody. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
And not being able to see friends or family regularly has taken away a victim's crucial line of defense.
They need somebody to stand with them, because a lot of these victims have not just been physically abused, they've been mentally abused. They feel like they don't have the capacity to stand up on their own or make these decisions for themselves.
And she says speaking up can help save lives.
People say, oh, it's terrible, but it's sort of a personal family issue and it's not really my place. And for the most part, I understand that argument. But these victims, you know, they're desperate for help. Now, they don't need somebody to come in and strong arm them. They don't need somebody to come in and give them an ultimatum. What they need is somebody to help them come up with a plan, and not just a plan, a strategic plan.
Well, there you have it. For more information, you can head over to crimestoppers.org. You can also call them if you have a tip. And if you know someone who is in need of some help, you can also call the Illinois Domestic Violence Hotline. The number is right there on your screen.